Well, fancy seeing you here, right here in my classroom. All right, today we're doing notes on 1.4. Please write it down. It's called the distributive property. Today's 2-3. And we're going to start with a example of what the distributive property is. So the distributive property looks like this. You know how we had like all of those properties that we did yesterday? And then the one that I left out is called the distributive property because there's like a whole different lesson on it, which there should be. So remember that during this video that you can pause at any time that you want to so that you can catch up with writing or doing the math. We're going to do about 6 examples today, so it shouldn't be too bad. So let's start with this. The distributive property means that if there's a number on the outside and 2 numbers on the inside with a plus or a minus between them, that to figure it out, you actually take this times this and this times this. So it'd be A times B plus A times C, like that. So if we actually have an example like we were doing yesterday when we just put real numbers in, okay, I would distribute to both of these. So 5 times 8 is 40, and 5 times negative 2 is negative 10, which makes 30. Now, another way to look at it is if you were to take 8 minus 2 in here, you get 6, you see, and 6 times 5 is also 30. So this does work. It's called distribution, something you should be familiar with from elementary school. Okay, so there's example 1. Make sure you write it down. We're going to try this together. So if you have a 4 on the outside and this stuff on the inside, I think it's easier because people get confused whether this is like a minus 7 or a negative 7. A minus 7 and a negative 7 are exactly the same thing. But sometimes people think it's easier to say plus a negative, like that. And I'm going to distribute 4 to both of these. So this is 4 times 5, which is 20x. The x goes with it. And then 4 times negative 7, which is negative 28, which you could just say is 20x minus 28, or you could say it's plus a negative 28. Either way is correct. Example 2. This one is going to be a little tougher. And I'll let you try this one. Oh, and notice back on this example 1 that I didn't put the x's, the things with the variables, together with the regular numbers because those aren't like terms. You put x's with x's, regular numbers with regular numbers. So when you distribute to all of these, keep in mind that this one's an R, this one's a G, this one's a T, so you don't need to combine them. So go ahead and pause the video right now and try example 2. Pause, pause, pause. All right, I'm assuming you did it. So negative 6 times r is negative 6r. And negative 6 times 3 is negative 18g. You can have minus 18 or plus a negative. Either one works. A negative 6 and a negative t. Remember, that's like a negative times a negative makes a positive. So that'd be 6t. If there's no number in front of it, you can kind of assume that there's like a 1 there. And maybe that'll be a little bit more easy to understand. So that's your final answer. You can't put them all together because one has an R, one has a G, one has a T. Now, another thing that I quickly wanted to mention is that you can also distribute from behind a parentheses like this. So really, this is pretty much just the same thing. Except for it's behind it instead of in front of it, which still works. So I'm going to distribute like that. 3y squared times 6 is 18y squared. Notice that I didn't take this 2 and multiply by 6 as well. It doesn't become y to the 12th. The y squared just stays y squared, and it's 6 times 3. Plus, remember there's like an imaginary 1 there. 1 times 6 is 6y. And then this is like plus a negative, so that's negative 8 times 6 is negative 48. I can't put those together, and this is important because this one has a y squared and this one's a y, and those aren't the same thing. That's just a regular number, so they don't go together. And speaking of going together, let's talk about this quick. If you have two things that both have the same variable in it and the same amount of variables, so notice this is an a, that's an a, they're not a squareds. There's not an a squared and then an a, they're just both a's. Then you can put them together. So this would be 32a. Same thing here on example 5. Remember, if I'm going too fast for you, just stop the video. This one is a b squared, and these ones are b's, so I can put these together. I can't put that together with anything because there's no more b squareds. So here I've got a positive 9 and a negative 3, and that makes 6. All right, last example. This is going to be a hard one. I'm putting it all together now. Okay. So, go ahead and try this one out. Remember to distribute. Remember to combine like terms at the end. Combine x's with x's and y's with y's. Pause the video. Try it yourself. Don't just copy me. All right, I'm assuming you did it. 3 times 2 is 6, 6x. 3 times 3 is 9y, plus negative 2 times 4x is negative 8x. And a negative 2 times a negative, there's nothing there, so I'm going to assume it's a 1. Negative 1y is a positive 2y, because a negative times a negative is a positive. Then I'm going to put the x's together, and 6 and negative 8 makes negative 2x. And then I'm going to put the y's together, and 9 and 2 makes 11y. People are so loud in the hallway. It's just how life goes. Hopefully you got it right. Now, today, the first, well, let's write this down first. Here's the homework. These problems go really fast, so if you're feeling like this is a lot of homework, it's going to go very quickly for you. I'm trying to be very reasonable with my homework. Okay, so this is the assignment, page 42, 24 through 34 evens, 40 through 50 evens, and 58 through 64 evens. So, after you've written that down, you can go ahead and work on it. However, if you made it this far in the video, congratulations, you watched the whole thing. If you jump back into the Zoom call right now, or if you come up and show me your 6 examples that you did, if you're in my room, I will give the first 4 people to do that prizes today. So come up and show me all of your examples, including all of your work, and I'd be loving to give you a prize. And I will still be in the Zoom call, so if you had already left the Zoom call, jump back in. I'll give you a prize. All right. Have a great night, guys. Bye.